Good evening, everybody, and a very well welcome to One Hub Racing Season 28, round number 4, and we head to a lot of home tracks here for a lot of our drivers. It is the home of British Motorsport. It is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and it's a track where a lot of the drivers would want to win this one. My name is Jess Ball, and joining me once again in the P1 tier commentary box, we have Jamie. Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing very good. How are you guys? Yeah, looking forward to this. Should be a good race around a classic racing track, a track where One Hub has raced more than any other circuit. So yeah, great to be back here. Obviously, it's the only repeat track from season 27, and but slightly different weather than last time I raced here, though.
Yeah, so it was a bit chaotic, I would say, the last time we raced here in One Hub Racing. Of course, it was very wet to wet qualifying, and then it was very wet to dry to very wet. If you're wondering how on earth I remember that weather stat, it's because I'm a mad person. But there we go. But yeah, it was I'd say crazy weather back then. But the drivers don't have to worry about that weather tonight because it's going to be clear for qualifying and clear to light clouds clear in the race. I personally would have wanted a wet Silverstone at some point, but unfortunately the game decided to not do that, unfortunately. But we still got plenty of races where we could do that. Last week, though, was a very interesting race. We saw Kevin, who won the race, but it wouldn't have been a win without the safety car. The safety car got him lucky in the end. We thought he made a blunder with the strategy, but to be honest, sometimes you have to have luck in this world, and he went on to take the win by a very close margin to the Keita in Secca, who got his best result of the season. The gap now is a few points separating himself and Marco in the championship, and those two haven't really fought that much.
No, they haven't. No, and obviously other contender Alexa had a bit of a nightmare race, finishing in 12th, so dropped back a bit further there. Yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, that safety car really did like Kevin, because I think he legitimately did forget about the two-stop rule, so probably would have been disqualified from the race without that. But instead of that, he gets 20 points, championship lead, his first win, obviously after 2 second places. He's obviously already had 3 poles this season. He's our dominant man in qualifying, and now he's starting to have some good race results. And this should strike free across the league, because he's looking in great form at the moment. It's up to these quick guys to stop him around the track.
I think, yeah,
he should be favourite for pole again, I think.
I agree. I predicted something in the pre-race show that I think Kevin is going to get pole again. If Kevin does not get pole again, I'm going to eat my hat. So I think it is still doable for that. I don't know why something is appearing on my screen accidentally for Bing, but there we go. These things happen. But those were your standings for the Drivers' Championship, and the Constructors' Championship look as follows. Mercedes are leading on 65 points, and we got Williams on 59, McLaren on 47, Red Bull on 41, Haas on 35, Racing Bulls on 24, Kick Sauber on 16, Aston Martin on 12. Then we got, as I move my mic close to my face, Alpine on 7 and Ferrari on 6. So everyone else at least has got some points on the board, which is very great to see. And I know we're missing one driver, which is Owen, but I think everyone else should be here. So we are waiting for the last few drivers to join the lobby. But of course, this is a track which hosts the first ever F1 race, 1950. And this was the only track, apart from Monaco, Spa and Monza, to appear in pretty much most of the races that F1 ever existed. And it was built at the site of the F1 airfield. And to be honest, Cots used to be Turn 1, but now obviously Abbey is Turn 1 like we know, and Farm Curve, Village and the Loop, and it's one of the slowest corners on the track. So those are the interesting characteristics. But we've noticed in our races, Jamie, tyre wear can play a massive factor in the race.
Yeah, because obviously last time I raced here, it was the C1, C2, C3. Now they changed that to match what there was in real life. So it's C2, C3 and C4. So it steps off. So that makes strategy, which used to be quite simple. It used to be basically, you used to be able to do double, medium, no bother, and maybe even the softs. That makes it now a bit more interesting now. You may see guys doing double hards, you may see guys double mediums, you may also see guys running the soft tyre. So there is a variant strategy and option, but yeah, it is a lot harder than it used to be, because this game, the tyre itself used to be really easy, but now with the softer tyres, it does add a bit of a variable there, and it's going to make this race a lot more interesting than what it would have been.
Yes, and hopefully a lot of drivers in the P1 tier managed to catch the lower tiers and they were able to have a rough idea on strategy, because none of those tiers have a safety car. So hopefully they just had a little bit of an inkling on what it's going to be like. Of course, we had a 25 8 or 7, which was power in the P2 tier. But in the P1 tier, I would expect maybe into the 124s. Kevin, who did an amazing hot lap for us in Grand Primo, was able to get a 25-0. So a 24 is still within him. It's going to be tough for anybody to beat that, but anything can happen in one hub racing. A few drivers I've seen have really struggled, and the crossover between P1 and P2 is just immense, because I think there's some drivers that will struggle to even get pole in P2 from the P1 tier.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a really fast team. You've got guys like Colin and Axellock, who are normally quite good, struggling. Obviously, Axellock had a good 5th place finish last week, but he has struggled up to this point. And yeah, this level of driver is immense, and it just get harder and harder every year as the gaps get closer and closer. I'm seeing good drivers who normally would be in P1 tier in the P2 tier now. So yeah, we are getting even more competitive. As I can't wait for this quali session. She should be a good one. The Silver's always a good. He's always a good on-board lap around Silverstone because of the high-speed corners. He has a lot of commitment, a lot of confidence required throughout mainly the second sector, where if you nail that, you're on for a good lap.
70% of the lap can be taken at full throttle, which means there's only a few places on the lap that you could go pretty much saving your ERS as well. So I think there's going to be plenty of drivers that have got to manage their ERS, I think, effectively a bit more than ever, I would say. But anything can happen in the P1 tier, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do. We are just about to get underway with qualifying, and before we start, let us know in the chat who you think is going to snatch pole position. Is it going to be Kevin for the pretty much second or third time now, or is it going to be any one of our other drivers? Could it be one of our rookies, Dave, who I have to say he was very unlucky last time out? I think he disconnected. Quite a few drivers disconnected in all 3 tiers today, so let's hope we don't get the same here. But let's get into qualifying, and pretty much everybody is coming out of the pits now. I'm just trying to see if I can still hear the game, because I got no game audio. There we go. That's better. Now we can switch over to the gameplay. But we've got Dave coming out. We've got both the Alpines out on a lap now. We've got Williams out. Pretty much most people are wanting to get their laps in as quickly as they can, because track position is key around it.
Yeah, it is, and obviously we've seen this season the first few tracks we get 4 runs around there because of the length of the pit lane and the length of the track. You're only going to get 3 runs around there, so I think it's imperative to get out there quickly. So if you're on a bad lap, you can just jump in the pitch and you may ever get a 4th run out of it. So I'm not surprised to get everybody out immediately, because time is of the essence in this quali session.
Yep, track position and track time is crucial. If you do not get a lap time here around Silverstone at your first attempt, then maybe kiss your possible lap times goodbye. So we're going to watch Epic the Animal, as he's going to be the first driver to set a lap time. Of course, he finished P5 last time out in Australia. Did a very good race. I wonder if he's going to be quick around here in Silverstone. And of course, before we start the hot lap, we would like to thank all our sponsors and partners. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have this league. Here we go then, as we make our way through in towards the first ever lap around Silverstone for the P1 tier. Making his way through Abbey. He stays in 8th gear. Oh, and he's invalidated. Well, that's a commentator's curse there from me, so I'm not going to go on board with it. Let's go on board with Colin then, as he makes his way now past Village into the loop of Aintree now. Splits the car into 3rd gear. Not confident through there, but he was harvesting a bit of energy in his battery now in towards the Wellington straight. This is where you can really gain a lot of time here, and you can save a bit of battery as you enter in towards Brooklyn now. Some people take different lines through there. We've noticed in all the other tiers that there was different lines that people can take around this section, and that's what makes this corner so great and one of the most iconic corners of Formula 1 in Silverstone. Heading in towards Cops Corner now. You can take it flat out if you get the right turn in, and sometimes people would prefer a lift in through 7th gear, which is what Colin has done. Through Maggots, Beckett's, and into Chapel now, and flip the car the right hand side of it, and this is a decent Maggots, Beckers and Chapel for Colin. He's used quite a lot of battery though as he enters in towards Stowe Corner, but we'll see what he does as he makes his way through in and towards Stowe. And now we're getting quite a few people going into towards the pit lane actually, in towards Fairland Club, where a lot of people would want to watch Formula 1. It's quite a popular grandstand, I have to say, especially the Lando stand. Colin up to the line, and it's a 25.8 for Colin. I believe he did a 25.9 in practice, so he's already reaching his PB already. He's got to be happy with that, but Casper and the Q2 have smashed those lap times.
Yeah, that's very good there for him. Yeah, very good, very competitive at the front. Yeah, I think he'd be happy with that. I think anything in the 28 is good for first lap. And that's good for him. He can progress on that, and maybe push a bit more on the next couple of laps and try and find the next couple of tenths and maybe move him up the grid further. But yeah, good to see Colin there with a nice competitive lap time order as Dave is on course line. He spins in club corner.
Oh, no!
That is Dave ever spun there, and obviously our man was unlucky last week, and now the worst thing for him is he can't come into pits because he's past the pit entry. So he's going to have to do the whole in lap after his lap gone. His lap's still technically valid, so it's still a lap time on the board, but yeah, that's
1:38.1 is not what he wants around Silverstone, but yes, it is a valid lap, so he's going to be starting not last if some people are having validated their runs anyway. But here comes the pole sitter favourite, Kevin. He goes up to the line of 25.3 already, and really good banker lap from him. I think people could just pack up and go home because that would look very solid, but we still know, based on his hot lap that he did for us, that there's still time left on the table. We got Alex on a lap time, who got very unlucky yesterday. We have got Epic the Animal doing another out lap. I think he went into the pit straight away once he validated. We got Curry in at the middle of his lap through Stowe Corner. It's not going to help him having traffic in front of him, but luckily one of the Aston Martins goes into the pit. That wasn't Dave, that was Atslot, who's currently sitting in P7 at the moment. Some very solid lap times from all our drivers so far. Here comes Curry up to the line, a 26.2 for him. I know he could do a lot better. We've got Mert that's going to the pit. Alex is on the way next. He goes up to the line. He's used all his deployment. That puts him into P9, and that's it there for our first laps in qualifying. And it is Kevin that leads the way for Marco.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, good to see Marco there, 2 tenths back, but obviously still a lot of time, still a bit of time to find there, and yeah, Kevin looking on course to pole yet again. That's going to be tough to beat even for the drivers already. As Craggy was at the 5th place there on his return to the league, so good to see him back in the Ferrari. And yeah, obviously a previous champion in season 26, I believe. So it's his first race since winning that season 26 champion. So yeah, great, good to see how he does. How he does. I think he'll fit in well near the front of the grid in this tier.
Yeah, nice to have him back. Of course, I was the first things that I mentioned in the talk show that Cragley's making an appearance, and he's of course got the P2 champion of Morgan from last season as his teammate. So both champions in the Ferrari garage. Of course, spoiler alert, Ferrari did quite decent in the race in Australia, so hopefully they're able to replicate that earlier on as well. Logan is on for another lap. Let's see if he could do a lot better than he did the first time, because I think it was turn 1 where he invalidated. He lost quite a bit of lap time there, so he's got a lot of work to do. It looks a lot better this time though. We'll see how he does in comparison to his nearest rivals. A 27.1 in the first sector. I'm almost certain that he could have found a lot of time left on the table. He's also going to have a bit of traffic in front of him, but luckily the Williams driver moved out the way. I believe that was Mertz that was in the Williams there, so good on Mertz there. Good awareness in towards Cops corner. Definitely looks better. He runs a bit wide though through Cops, so that might compromise a bit of exit speed at the moment. Craggy's gone into the pit lane, so that's his lap done for the time being. Now here comes Logan in towards Chapel. Of course, Logan has had many consistent results this season, looking to get a podium. Maybe this could be the race where he gets a podium. Of course, America have changed their time zones a few weeks earlier than us, so they've moved their clock forward. So I wonder if that's going to change their mindset a little bit. Hopefully not. Here comes Epic the Animal through Vale in towards the final corner of the Sir Hamilton Straight, up to the line, and it's pretty decent, a 25.9.
Yeah, not bad for him there. He should get 2 more runs in. He gets back to it quicker there. Good for him in the RB there, yeah. 8th place, obviously, had a few top 5 so far, but yet to get that podium. Was very close in Austria, but just lost out, and yeah, be looking to maybe break that duck tonight.
Yes, I think quite a lot of people are looking to break that duck, including Mert, who got unlucky, I think, in lap 1 instant. We covered it in the stewards room. There was no way he could have gone, really. So he's got quite a bit of work to do as well. Plenty of drivers are about to finish their lap, including, it was Lakitu, but it was his teammate, actually, who's about to start his out lap. So Lakitu going through in towards Abby. Casper's about to start a lap as well. Again, like Jamie was saying, you could only, I think, do 3 laps here. So these next few laps has to be making it count. We've got Mert then heading through sector 2. And this is key now. If you haven't set a lap yet, this puts a bit more pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah, it does, because you especially how competitive team is, you can't afford to leave a 10th on the table. You've got to show your best here. And yeah, these guys are going to be under huge pressure now. Jake Hall and Mertz to get a lap in, and yeah, but you want to get a lap in, but as I mentioned, you have to go on it as well. It's such a difficult balancing act, and yeah, that's why I think. Yeah, they're going to be under huge pressure, but I'm sure they can do it. They're capable of doing it. So let's see how they do in the next 8 minutes as Mert goes up to second place. That's a good lap there. 12.3 for the Williams man. Yeah, only a couple hundredths off Kevin and Paul. No, yeah, he'd be very happy with that lap.
That was very solid. Very solid. Not that far behind either, so he could be a threat for pole position. Casper, by the way, goes 4th fastest in that McLaren. He will take that in a heartbeat. Lakitu, I believe, was not happy with that lap, so he's diving it in to the pit lane. Craggy's about to start one. Morgan has gone into the pits. He is not happy with that either, so a lot of people are not improving on their second runs here. J. Cole has not set a lap time. He's not happy with that at all, and that's done a weird thing in the pit lane. I'll pretend I didn't see that. We got Clark in the Red Bull, who had a good battle last week. We'll see what he could do as he climbs his way up the order. He can't get to the 125s, unfortunately, but he stays 12th with a 126.1. Craggy's about to make his way through sector 1. I did see an Aston Martin move out the way. Hopefully he has set a lap. Yes, they have set a lap. So it's just Marco who was going to set a lap, but he's binned it, unfortunately, so he's going to have to abort it. There's plenty of people, Jamie, that are not improving on their second runs.
No, I'm quite surprised by this. Obviously, the drivers, maybe they found the peak quite early and they find it difficult to beat. Obviously, Silver's on a track where it's a high-speed corner, so I think it's a track where you sort of lose time in corners rather than gain time, because there's not much braking around there, so if you're a bit off it one of the corners, then your lap's basically done, and yeah, a lot of guys find the limit. I think that lap by Kevin has maybe put a few caught a few of the guys off guard and finding it maybe pushing a little bit too hard, maybe trying to chase his lap rather than trying to improve their own. And yeah, we've not seen that leaderboard changing too much. Mert was the big improver in that run, as well as Casper. There's actually locking it's up to 6, and yeah, everyone else. Collins' lap still looking good in 8th, so yeah, his banker early on is still looking good. If he can move by a 10th or 2, maybe get a top 10 start, which. But obviously he's taking an entry penalty, so it's irrelevant really where he qualifies, because he'll be starting at the back of the grid.
Well, he usually starts at the back anyway, Jamie, which is probably why he's taking it here, to be honest. And that's just a good point that I'd like to raise. There are 4 drivers who have taken car wear penalties this week. Colin, he's taken an engine. Mobike taking an engine. Epic the Animal taking an engine. And Alex taking a gearbox. I believe Alex has taken a engine already, so that will be his 2 car wear parts done, and he won't have to take it for the rest of the season. And there's still plenty of drivers yet to take one yet, and you must do it if you attend every race this season. You must do it by at least round 9, because otherwise your engines will not get to the end. We've got Lakitu warming his tyres up. Interestingly, he's going on a lap now, because I don't think he's going to get 4 runs in. So this lap for Lakitu, Marco and Kevin is got to make it count. He's invalidated. Is invalidated on his outlap. Let's hopefully it's not this next lap invalidated. He should be fine. Go through the Hamilton straight. Yeah, he's fine. I think if he invalidated around just before the final corner, he would have probably lost a bit of time there. But yeah, Lakitu, he was very lucky there. Callum, I would have expected him to be a bit higher up the grid. He's a bit lower than where he is. So he's on a lap now. Let's see if he can find some more time, because I wasn't expecting him to be 9th, but I was expecting him to be top 5.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit disappointing there for him, but apparently it's a 10th up in sector 1, so we'll see what he can do. If he can be by 2 or 3 attempts, he can bump up in the top 5, which is sort of the field. I spent to quite close to Casper on this lap, so going through Cop's corner now, this corner requires a lot of commitment. How he's going to look through here. Looks pretty decent for him, I have to say. It's looking like a good lap for him. The sector 2 time board coming up right now. See what he's going to do. He's going to be... on the exit of Chapel, we get that, so a bit premature on that. Could cross
Here we
line Chapel here.
come.
What's it going to
1020.
be? He's
2
2.5 temps up. So, yeah, two. Yep. So this could put him in the top 4 if he gets a really solid last sector. This could be in 1 minute. This could be a 0.4 if he gets a really good last sector. Let's wait and see what he can do.
He's in the pits. Why?
Yeah, he's pulling the pits. He must have. It's weird.
Lakitia's going to the
That
pits
wasn't
as
a good
well.
lap. Maybe he feels like he can go further. Yeah, maybe he feels he can improve more, but that's a bit of a risk because that lap looked good. That lap looked good. That's a gamble.
There would have been no pressure on him. I don't know why he's avoided that lap. That's a bit confusing. But anyway, Morgan comes to the line and 125.7. That puts him P8. That he would take that in a heartbeat as you'd have to session, my friends. So hopefully we can join in just a moment.
Yeah.
But
I'll sort that out.
Yeah, you'll sort that out. Luckily you're on PlayStation, so you're all good. So I will cover for you for the rest of this session. 3 minutes and 24 seconds still to go. Of qualifying, we got Kevin, who's on pole position with a 125.3. Still a few attempts to find on the table for him, but still a lot of work for quite a lot of our drivers, and there was plenty of drivers who had a lot to say in the pre-race interviews. Morgan even said he loves the track, but he's quite slow on it, and he was hoping for a wet race, and unfortunately he's not going to get it. Atslot saying it's not the biggest fan of this track, and he hasn't had the best of season so far, and he's been finding his race with his teammate. Well, he couldn't tell because they had one race together, and Atslot is hoping for a top 5. I wonder what other people will be hoping for very, very soon. We've got plenty of people still on laps, which I'm quite surprised about because they're not going to leave much time on the table to do one final run. This is interesting for Matt Clark, actually, because he's now warming his tyres up to go on another run, I'm guessing now. I'm guessing he's got 100% battery. Yes, he has. It's a bit risky because I know when I did my lap in qualifying, I was on 9% when I came into the pit lane to do my in-lap. So it's going to be hard for Matt Clark to come through, which will be a bit annoying. But everyone else now is going out on outlap, and Mason is hoping for Callum on arm to go top. Well, he needs to find 8 temps, so it's going to be tricky. And Jamie, are you back in the session?
Yeah, I'm back in, yeah. I was going to mention about that weather. What would the odds have been at the start of the season for 8 sessions, 8 draws, and not one rain-affected session?
I was
very,
fed up.
very high, I reckon.
I was fed up because, like, Silverstone is a track where it rains mostly a lot of the time, and it's one of the tracks where a lot of people are much better in the rain than any other track. So, which means it's more than likely it's going to rain in, like, quite a lot of track. As Morgan has retired from the session, his lap is done.
Yep. I don't know about you, but I'm aboard with Kevin here, and his car's showing he's got no nose. Now, had this at one race this season, not if this is a glitch, we're just going to be rejoining the session. But if you guys have already retired, I wonder if they've run out of time to do a lap.
It's hard. I wish I had my telemetry dashboard on because I would have seen if he had that. I will try and get that sorted for the main race, but we'll see what happens. Or maybe he just wants to be one of the last people to set a lap time, which is possible. But speaking of lap time, we've got loads of people now finishing starting their runs. We've got Colin. Well, he's not going to take any further part. He's only done one lap, a 25.8, which probably means he can't do any better than what he just done. Can anyone beat a 25.3? If there's rumours that Kevin has picked up damage on his outlap through the corner that Mert's in now, then he's going to be in a spot of bother. Casper has done one lap on his tyres. He set the same time as Alex, actually, I've just noticed. So fair play to
Alex
them.
just completed. Yeah, Alex just completed his lap, I believe, or he's just starting one. I'm not quite sure. I think he's just starting one. But yeah, same lap time.
But Casper set the same lap time as Alex, but since Casper said it first, that's why. Oh, and Mert's invalidated Jamie.
Oh, so that's probably our biggest pole contender threat gone. Obviously, he was quite close in the first two sectors, but yeah, that's his lap done. And Kevin, obviously, still got to improve. And Marco, let's see what he can do. He's about to finish a lap in the Williams, so coming through Cop's corner, coming through still corner now. What can he do? Approaching the final two turns. Can he? Can he close that 210 gap? It's a lot of time to
Oh, no,
find.
he can't.
I don't think he can, but let's see. No,
He had a bit of a
No,
slide
it's
going
his lap
through
done.
Vale. 25.5. He still improves on
He could-
time, but without that slide,
Yeah,
I think he would have been pole.
yeah, but it would have been close. Yeah, it definitely would have been. That was a huge time lost there for him. As I'll look at his telemetry. As Lakita goes to third place, that's what he needed. Yeah, Lakita in third, so he's jumped further up the grid. He's not that far off Paul, actually. Kevin actually not that far ahead. But can Kevin load the bench back further? He hasn't got damage. That was just a graphical glitch on my side. So a bit weird seeing him on
Thank
full
God for
pelt
that.
with
So
no nose on. But there we go.
Yeah, thank goodness for that, because I was a bit worried about that. So I didn't see what he set to 1 and set to 2 time. But can he break in to the 25 zeros like we saw on his hot lap? Not quite, but that's still a stellar lap from the Mercedes driver. Our championship leader will be on pole position for today's British Grand Prix, and he's had the most poles out of everybody in the league so far, I believe. I think he's got poles in most Grand Prix so far. I think he might have missed out in one, but I might be wrong. I'll need to double check my stats. But Kevin on pole for Mertz by 2/10 of a second, but there's a close gap between Mertz, Lakitu, and Callum.
Yeah, definitely. They seem closer than they were the last race. Yeah, it's good to see Kevin on pole. And I believe Mertz did have a potentially maybe a 0.2 or 0.1 in him, but obviously didn't validate. So yeah, the field is closing up, which is great to see. And yeah, Kevin didn't quite beat his time he did in the hot lap there, but a 15-1 still a very impressive lap there. And yeah, he's looking good for that Speedster award. He's well ahead in that, I think.
Yeah, he's well ahead.
Maybe Jacob's closer.
No,
I
don't think Jacob didn't get pole today. He struggled in qualifying. He had a good start, but he started 12th or something in qualifying. It was Kinney that got pole in P2 today. So yeah, I think Kevin will be ahead. Because of course we had a different pole sitter in P3 and P4. I'm trying to remember who got pole. I think it was. I'm losing count. But anyway, let's go for
Reaper's first. I think it was his first pole, I believe. So yeah.
Oh, nice milestone then. So let's go through your results.
Anyway.
We've got Kevin for Mert, Lakitu, Callum, Marco, Casper, Alex, Logan, Axelot, Dave, Morgan, Craggy, Clark, Colin, Arnold, Curry, Jaco, and Robite. Robite has not set a lap time, so that will be it for him. But of course, we have got a lobby restart whilst we get the grid penalties sorted. We've got car wear penalties, we've got engine penalties, and I do believe Robite has also got a grid penalty due to the incident that he had in lap 1 last week, because of course he would have got a time penalty, but because he DNF'd, it gets converted to a grid penalty. He'll probably be starting in Hungary from all we know, based on the grid penalty. So there we go.
Yeah, I think Northampton have got a good slot for him back there, yeah, definitely. But yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I think he heard come to that. I think he knew it was his fault, obviously. The game actually did disqualify him from the race, which is probably fair enough. But yeah, but obviously this week it's a new leaf for him. Hopefully he can have a bit of a cleaner start this week, and yeah, he's probably a good thing. He's getting his car way out of the way, but it's not really cost him anything because of the 15th place penalty, so he's getting it for free anyway. So yeah.
Oh yes, I've noticed that. Yeah.
Kind of play for Robite doing that, I think.
Yeah. But in a usual situation, I don't think, in my personal opinion, that should be allowed in the future, as I'm seeing some massive flips in the Demolition Derby, by the way. But he's going to be starting this low bat. I just don't think it'll be worth it to have an engine penalty anyway, but I think we'll crack down on that next season, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think it's something management will be reviewing at the end of the season, yeah. We've got a red flag in
our my God.
WRC, yeah. I think it's something we'll be cracking down on. Obviously, there'll be feedback at the end of the season, and yeah, that'll be something we'll be looking at, because we had it already in the P2 tier as well last week, so...
Yeah, we had it in P2 last week. We're having it in P1 this week. So yeah, we will be, obviously it's too late to change the rules mid-season. So, but yeah, Robite has taken advantage of that, and why not? Because you're not going to be losing out on too much Anyway, so now it'll be up to Colin to set up the grid, and we do have some rivalries, and it was between Mertzy and Robite, and it was the said lap 1 collision, and they were asked, safe to say, was quite coming together, causing a bit of carnage. Was the incident spoken about between you and just put down to one of these things? Confident of still being able to race cleanly if you're battling again. And Robite said, I apologise sincerely to Mertzy and all drivers involved, as the incident was clearly on me. We spoke about it after the race, and there isn't anything between us, and he said it was a mistake. Hopefully a clean and respectful battles from now on. And Mertzy said, yeah, mistakes happen, but like I said, that was too much. I hope we all can race cleanly in the future, but we'll see. So Mertzy is open to realise that these things happen, but he's hoping that things like that with Robite does not happen again.
Yeah, that's good to see, and good to see that Robite did hold his hands up there. That's what we like to see. A bit of drivers admitting that they're at fault, and yeah, as long as there's one off, then that'll be good. And yeah, if you have a nice clean battles going forward, that'll be fantastic to see.
Yeah. We hope we can get some clean battles throughout this. Of course, it's clear to light cloud and clear in the race now, but we do know in the last stint, we know that those tyres are going to overheat and cause a lot of wear and friction on the tyres, so we're going to watch out for that one. Were there any drivers that disappointed you? Obviously, Callum was one of them for me, but did any other driver disappointed you in that qualifying session?
Not really. I'm trying to think. Not really, because I just feel this field is so competitive. It's very hard to pinpoint a driver, because you can say, yeah, they're disappointed, but they can feel like they did a good lap. So I think it's just, in general, the field is just so competitive that, yeah, I think Callum might be. I think Colin, after doing his 0.8, I was disappointed he didn't improve further. But you have to say a 0.8 is a great lap for him.
It's his PB, so I believe. I'll need to ask him that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I will need to ask him that. I'll ask him in the chat now.
Yeah, it's just very difficult, because all these guys are fast, but he can be. So there's a second separated. J. Cole was a second back, and he was last on the grid. It just shows you how ridiculous this tier is, and I'm glad I'm not racing it. I tell you that, because I get absolutely smoked.
Well, to be fair, it's always nice to get rewarded into P1, and yes, I've just had a confirmation from Colin that the 25.8 that he set at the beginning of the qualifying session was his PB. So that's probably why he couldn't go quicker, which is fair enough. He's still going to qualify quite well anyway, so he's going to have a great position, because there's lots of people taking their engine penalties. One driver that would have wanted, I think, a much better qualifying session is Axelot. He was called to the drivers' press conference, and he's been asked how he found the racing so far in P1, and does he feel he has the pace to be competitive, and how does he feel they could do overall. And he said, occasionally I feel like I have pace to do well, but I doubt I can challenge for wins, maybe top 5s. I think that's realistic, because the top few in the P1 tier is just insanely quick. So I think top 5, I would say, is respectable for Axelot.
Yeah. Yeah, so getting that podium is tough, likes of Marco, likes of Alexa, likes of Kevin, and they're Lakia. They just seem just that little bit step above. But yeah, there's definitely a best rest behind it. And if them guys hit trouble, then you never know. You may, on your lucky day, you may get a podium. You never know. But I think Axelot's looking just to consolidate, get some good points, and obviously last week 5th place was fantastic for him, getting 10 points, and it's really kick-started his season. Maybe he can have after a break tonight, and after a break for next week, maybe he can really get back on the trail and go for it yet again. So yeah, good to see Axelot back on form, because he's a top-class driver.
Yeah, I think this week is going to be people that will be like, oh, I've done well in Silverstone, I don't want the break week. And there'll be people that won't do well in Silverstone in this tier and be like, yeah, that break week can't come soon enough. Especially if there was people maybe that's had really bad luck. There's plenty of drivers I can see on the grid, like Curry, for example, not had the best luck. Colin last week did not have the best luck. He had default setup. And Colin, I know you watch the streams in the background sometimes whilst you set up the stream. Remember your setup, please. Whatever you do, remember your setup. And anyone in the P1 tier that is watching, remember your setups, because otherwise you're going to be in a spot of bother. But we are about to get going with this race then. 26 laps away our drivers, 2 mandatory stops in 1 hub racing. It's either going to be medium, hard, or medium, hard, medium, hard. Or some people will be brave and start on the soft compounder tyres. But we did know, especially towards the end of the race in P2, the softs don't last long at all, and they just lose so much more grip. So if I were you, do not go on the softs at all unless we get a late safety car. But it's very unlikely, like we saw earlier on, because no tier tonight has had a safety car. So will P1 get one?
No.
Highly unlikely.
No, definitely not. No, the standards has been quite good across all tiers. There are any DNFs, and the only thing is, we've seen a few of them dastardly 10-second pit lane penalties. And around here, it's a track where it's probably easiest than all the other tracks on this season. So hopefully avoid them, because they're just race killers. As we saw in the P2 tier, a guy lost a race, an obvious race win due to that by the smallest of margins.
By 2 tenths.
You're never going to gain 10. Yeah, you're never going to gain 10 seconds by coming a bit. So I don't get why people are taking that much risk with it. At most, you can gain probably half a second on pit entry, but you're never going to gain 10 seconds.
For some people, you would rather be too cautious and lose time, and that you will. I think you will lose time, yes, but you'll gain the time because you didn't get the 10 second, and you'll probably gain a bit of time going through having the undercut anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're not going to go 10 seconds too slow in the pits, yeah, it's always worse. It's always worth being on the safe side of it as we are loading the race. Obviously, and then after that, we'll give the drivers time to load their setups and their strategies and their fuel, whatever.
Cough,
we'll
Colin.
A few minutes to do that, and then we will get underway. Yeah, that's always the first thing I do in a race. Setup is the first thing I do. Then my starting tyre, and then everything else can do after that.
Yeah, that's what I do, Jamie. I do setup. I do setup and fuel first, and then I choose a strategy, because I don't want to be starting with 2 laps extra fuel. But people like different things. But without further ado, since the drivers now have 2 minutes to go through everything, let's go quickly through our sponsors. Delta app, who is our title sponsor. Use all your investments in one app. If you click the link in the description, you could get all of your investments in a decent amount, and you can track them, and it'll be amazing. So make sure you check them out by using the command in chat, !Delta. Next Level Racing. These are the prizes that people could win this season, and without them, honestly, we wouldn't get the support that we need from them either. So thank you to Next Level Racing. Sim Racing setups. They have dry esports setups, wet setups. They have setups from some esports drivers too. They also have a ERS map for qualifying strategies, fuel, a lot of things and a lot of data that you can have in those setups. Really, really good. And those are the prizes that people could win this season if they get driver of the day. And if you use the code 1HubRacing, if you want to set up for Hungary next week, you can get 5% off by using the code 1HubRacing. Partners Vespertine that support our championship apparel and also providing our prizes and payment system. Pure Sim Gear, one of our other sponsors, they provide sim racing gloves or socks. 10% off by using the code OHR10P. And the Speedster Award, as well, I was saying, definitely in Kevin's hands at the moment. And finally, our partners at SimGrid. Without SimGrid, we would be basically be on Google Forms, and it would be an absolute nightmare. But, Jamie, who do you think is going to win this one?
Let's go Mert. Let's go Mert. Do something different. Obviously, qualifying 2 tenths off probably had a lap which would have been closer to Kevin. We'll go Mert. I think the Williams team could have a 1-2 tonight. Let's go Williams 1-2 with Kevin in 3rd place. There we go. Mert, Marco, and Kevin.
Yeah, I think that's a sensible move, I would say, as I think they have been given the call to ready up soon. So hopefully we'll get underway. And by the way, next week, in 2 weeks, next week's our break week, 'cause it is Mother's Day, and then we go racing in 2 weeks' time in Hungary. There's bound to be wet weather there, so hopefully the drivers after this one will be practicing, or like me, be taking a week off and crying in a corner. But I think Kevin's going to win this one, and I can't remember who I predicted my top 3. I think it was Kevin and Marco and someone else. I can't remember, but it was so long ago. The pre-race talk show, it was almost like 9-10 hours ago. It was very hard to choose. But let's get underway then for some racing in the P1 tier. Let us know your predictions in the chat. You can see the pit lane garages on your screen. And here we go then. 5 red lights. We've got Kevin on pole, and we have got the Williams alongside, and we are underway here in the P1 tier. Let's see who gets on the line correctly. Kevin gets on the line correctly. Callum's had a very good start up into 3rd, and don't forget we've had engine penalties as well. Lakitu trying to go around the outside of Callum, couldn't quite make it work. Kevin's under pressure from Mertz already in towards turn 3, through Aintree into the loop now. We can see the Aston Martin's making a head or tail a bit as well. Casper not the right way to start from him, but Atslot's trying to make his way through. He goes side by side heading towards the Wellington straight. That's where we're going to see the best of moves right now. Alex has made his way up into 8th after his penalty. Clark's made his way up into 12th. Casper's making his way up again into 6th. There's a lot of movements going on. A bit of a squiggle for the Ferrari. I mean, that was craggy, but Kevin, great start from him, already pulling away by 0.6 per second.
Yeah, great stuff. Maxwell on the soft tyres up to 7th place, up 5 places. Yeah, fantastic for him. Yeah, but Kevin must start really well. Good to see Callum into 3rd, fighting back from a poor qualification. Obviously benefiting for you guys having the engine penalties, and he's right in that fight at the front yet again. As we got Casper and Marco fighting over 5th. Casper on the softs, looking to make early progress.
Yep. And you can see the battery being used as Casper is trying to get past Marco, but couldn't quite do it. So Alex and Casper on the softs, Dave on the softs, everyone else on the medium compounded tyres. No one on the hards, I believe. No, it's Arnold on the hards.
No.
Never mind, I just couldn't see
at
it.
The back, yeah, at the back of the grid.
Yeah, as Dave and Axelot, the two Aston Martins fighting for position. Unlike in real life, where the Aston Martins didn't even finish the race, the Aston Martins here are doing a lot better, whereas Axelot is pretty much being stuck behind Dave because of the fact he's on the mediums. But if I was Axelot, I'll be thinking, just wait for a moment. The sauce will die very, very soon. J. Cole is having a nightmare of a race so far. He's passed Logan up into 14th place. Colin, with his engine panel, he's made up a few places as well of the start. He will take that too. It's just been pretty clean from everybody so far. They're now going to have a chance to deploy as much battery as they can, but not too much. If I was still in a DRS train, I would save as much battery as I can until you have the ability to overtake. Only use a battery if you feel your position in a DRS train is under threat.
Yep, definitely. I learnt that in my race earlier. It's like the whole field is in a DRS train of each other. This is incredible. The whole field is basically in one DRS train. As Arnad goes off the track, I believe there. So Arnad probably isn't. Oh, sorry, that was a bit of lag on my side there. But yeah, the whole field is in a DRS train. So yeah, this is incredible. Obviously, we'll see splits earlier on, yeah. But this moment, we're going to have a holding pattern these next couple of laps as these soft tyres guys will be trying to extend as long as they can. But yeah, I believe by about lap 3 or lap 4, the softs will die off. So that's what Craggy and Axelot behind are waiting for.
I've noticed that on my telemetry dashboard, which I have got set up for this race now, Arnold has picked up a bit of front wing damage on the right-hand side. It's hard to tell which it's 13%, so hardly anything. He probably wouldn't have picked it up on the game, but I was able to see it. So I wonder if that's why he's going to lose a bit of time maybe and a bit more understeer on the car. So that's not going to be a good race for him so far. Kevin is not pulling away to Mert, so maybe Mert showing that he's got the pace around Silverstone, which is really amazing to see, but he's got to get close to Kevin ASAP because otherwise he'll be out of the DRS. One driver that's been looking quite decent is Callum. That makes a change, doesn't it? That Callum would probably want to make his way up as high as he can. As Mert is using the battery, you can tell because the light is not flashing. Callum, I think, is saving the battery. He knows he can close up with just raw speed alone, which he is, and he's now going to save the battery and deploy it in towards the hangar straight. Through he goes then, and he is burning the battery, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. I had a similar issue earlier on in my race where I was just quicker in a straight line at times, but because people got better exit through Chapel, it just wasn't worth it and just lost the time. So you got to get a good exit into Chapel if you want to have a good run to get them moving to Stowe. Yellow flag.
We've got Dave at the moment. I think yeah, he's dropped a few places on the little spin, I believe, at club, and yeah, he's dropped down a few places. Also, Curry's at the moment, as well as Curry and Epic Animal going side by side down the pitch, Hamilton straight, and Animal just about squeezes through there. There was just enough room there for the racing ball, and he's through. And yeah, unfortunate for Dave there, he dropped about 4 or 5 places down in a little moment in the club corner.
Look at Colin and Arnold. Colin and Arnold are having a ding-dong battle. I wonder if the damage is costing him a little bit. Road bite in there as well. Colin tucks into Arnold on the inside. Unfortunately, Arnold looks a bit quicker at the moment. I wonder if those medium tyres are giving up the ghost at the moment, as we could see. Even Colin's on armation and under pressure from road bite. So I wonder if Colin is struggling a little bit with maybe setup. He may be running lower wings compared to road bike, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. This is shaping up to be some incredible racing. We have a lot of DRS trades going on now because Atslot is now out of DRS to Alex in front, even though Alex is on the soft compounded tyres. Both drivers are on the softs at the top 10 are doing quite well. Dave, unfortunately, his tyres are giving up the ghost, but for Casper and Alex, a very good job for them so far. And for Atslot, they're going to hope their tyres start to die soon, so Atslot could close in and try and get the move done on Alex.
Yeah, I expect to see Dave in the pits very soon there, because once you have a moment like that, yeah, he's in the pits, I'm not surprised. Once you have a moment like that, your tyres never come back, your tyres overheat, they go through a heat cycle, and the grip never comes back. Yeah, he's in the pit lane now, gets to slow nicely the pit line, which is good to see. And yeah, it's Arnold's fighting Curry for 15th place. Arnold is showing some good fighting hard tyres, which are coming back to life for him. But yeah, Mert is staying with Kevin, even though he's using more battery, he's staying with him, and it's good to see that Kevin is getting a bit of a fight in the first stint as his front 7, as Axlock's now starting to gain a bit on Alex, not quite in the DRS of Alex, but he's getting closer and closer and closer, and it won't be too long till he is. So yeah, the front pack's staying a lot closer than they were in, say, Austria. So that is
I love that.
reassuring to see for the race.
Yeah, I think we would expect them to be a little bit further away because it's Silverstone, but it's also a short lap as well. It goes by very quickly. If there's no safety car, the race could be over in 40 minutes. I'm not even kidding. It's like Monza,
yeah,
where
it's one of the fastest
the race
tracks,
is that short. Yeah, it's one of the fastest tracks because, again, like Monza, 70% of the lap can be taken at full throttle around here. So really not that surprising. I'm just looking at the lap time between Kevin and Mert as we got something going on it.
So Craig was having a look at Axlock, but he runs a bit wide in Chapel Corner. That's going to cost him here, but he's still got a good run on him here. Craggy, but he's too far back, I believe. Obviously, 2 former champions won of racing there, but yeah, Craggy is not going to get the move done. There's, sorry for interrupting there, but I thought Craggy was going to move there, but he did make a bit of a mistake at Chapel Corner, and that probably cost him an opportunity for overtake. Casper is in the pits, yeah, covering off. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to go hards or mediums here. He should be going hards, I reckon, for a long stint. We'll wait and see. What is he going for? Yes, he's going for mediums. So he's doing the soft, medium, hard strategy. We saw Lindfalk do this in the P40. It worked well for him, but unfortunately enough, he got penalties which cost him a possible podium. As Dave is our first guy to get a 3-second corner cut penalty tonight.
Yeah, speaking of penalties, that's our first one, our first track limit warning, and Robite is coming to the pits as well. He's going onto those hard tyres, so I think it is to be expected that people that have started on the soft to go in and pit now, because there's no way that the soft would last this long, but fair play. And Atslot is not really gaining that much on Alex on those Alex on those softs, Atslot going on those mediums. I think Alex has played a really great strategy on starting on those softs because nobody else is able to close up to him, which is very, very impressive. So Alex doing a really great job here. I'm just seeing, has he got his telemetry on so I can see his tyres? No. Or actually, yes, I can. Well, hey, so he is doing quite well. These were my tyres when I was on a medium, so he's got good tyre whispering strategies, I have to say. 50% on the front left, 52% on the front, on the rear left. He comes in. Quite a few drivers are coming on the mediums, so Alex has lasted longer than some people on the mediums. That is impressive, including our race leader, Kevin. He comes in now. We'll see where he comes out in relation to traffic. We've got Marco in, Lakitu. Pretty much most people out the front lot has come in, except Mert, who stayed out.
All these cars, half the field's in the pit lane at the moment. Incredible. They're all going hard tyres at the moment, as Craggy's on mediums actually, but the majority are going hard tyres. As Craggy's the only guy in the pit this lap who who's gone medium. So yeah, a lot of hard running going. So yeah, we'll see where as Kevin stays in the net lead, I believe. As Casper's got a nice undercut, he's up into 9th place, having a look at his teammate Callum, but the room isn't quite there for the second McLaren.
A net P3 at the moment, Jamie, because of course Kevin's a net P1 and Mert's still yet to stop. So Casper's strategy has worked wonders. And if you time your undercut right, you could gain, I think, 3 or 4 seconds. It is absolutely massive because don't forget, there'll be plenty of drivers at the first opening stint of the race that'll be battling. When you come out of the pits, hopefully you would come out in clear air, whereas there'll be some people still fighting in dirty air and warm tyres. So you'll be just gaining so much, and the pit lane loss around here is massive compared to every other track on the Formula 1 calendar to date. So I think Casper knew this, and Casper knew this from probably watching the lower tiers, that pitting early is probably the best decision as Mert comes in. And we're seeing the people like Kevin and Callum and Casper already making their way through the hangar straight and Stowe. So Mert is unfortunately going to lose a lot of time. Let's watch on board Kevin as he makes his way through Stowe now.
Yep, looking good on the fresh tyres. Got a nice up temperature. He should have a nice comfortable lead over Mert, who has a nice up on the hard tyres. So majority guys on the hard tyres, as Morgan also goes mediums, so he's going double medium. So Kevin should have a comfortable lead. Will Mert come out? How many places will we lose? I believe we lose 3 or 4 places. This has not worked out well for the Williams man.
Here he comes out then, Jamie. He just comes out just behind Marco. He's lost like 3 places. He was in P2. So he's lost 1, 2, 3, 3 places.
Yeah, it's just right behind Nikita. He's going to have fresher tyres now, so he's going to have an offset. But the problem is, well, as we both know in this race, if you're in his DRS trains, around track of Silverstone, it's so hard to follow car and so hard to overtake. So he's going to have to suffer these first couple laps, I think. He's going to have to wait for these guys' tyres to drop off, because that's not worked out well for him. But he's still in the lead pack though, so he's still in the fight, but he's just a few places further back. So it's not a disaster for him, but it's not what he wanted.
No, definitely not. We are starting to see people getting track limit warnings left, right and centre here. Quite a few people are already on 2 warnings, and if they're not careful, they're going to get a 3-second time penalty as we're heading towards into the hangar straight now, does Mert. So he's going to be on a tyre offset, but it's not going to help him at the moment. I think with some people not being on the means for the middle stint, unless they're going on to hards later on, it's going to hurt them maybe with the undercut. We'll have to wait and see. But we can see Casper in at the background as he tries to defend from Lakito. And Casper doing a great job there to go on to 4th place as Alex ended the fast lap of the race so far with a 1:29.006. As Arnold, I think, is the only driver who's yet to do his first stop. Everyone else is pitted at least once. So Kevin is on that race leader by 1.9 seconds over Callum Unarmed.
Yeah.
That's a name I was not expecting to be up there. He needed redemption and he's getting it at the moment. Let's just pray he doesn't DC.
Yeah, he's having a great race. But the bad news for these guys is that Kevin's out of DRS, and if these guys scrap, and as I saw in the P4 tier actually, where the leader just running away, I believe, from guys behind scrapping, then Kevin could pull a massive lead here. So these guys haven't got to work together a bit and not fight too much and somehow try and catch up to Kevin. Each of pace was shown. I believe it'd be difficult for these guys to catch up. Look, the gap's up to 2.5 seconds. So yeah, Kevin is just looking in complete command this race. It looks like a fight for second place at the moment. As Alex has dropped 2 places down to 9th. He must have made a mistake somewhere because he's dropped down to 9th place as Craggy is having a look at him for maybe 8th position. So a few changes in the order, but Kevin is looking great for the win at the moment.
Yeah, I will not be surprised if he takes this one. I don't think I predicted Kevin to win. I don't think. But I'll need to rewatch the pre-race talk show on that one just to see if I predicted him. Probably not, but again, we will see. We're on lap 10 and 26, and plenty of drama still to be told, and plenty of positions to be gained from a lot of our drivers. Callum Unarmed just pulling away from Casper Klein at the moment. Casper doing all he can to try and defend from a prancing Lakito, who has got all the battery in the world to use, and he's doing the right thing of trying to save some ERS until he could definitely try and go for the move. Again, you do not want to be too close to dirt. Yeah, Casper's saving quite a bit. You can see Mert in the background saving as well. Casper's got to get a move on because the offset and the crossover point will come very soon. And before you know it, Lakita and Mert will try and get past you, and you will probably have to pit soon anyway. I think the earliest you could pit without losing too much temperature is lap 14. At the end of lap 14, I think that's where you can come in towards turn 11 and 12. Now we'll see if Lakita gets a better exit in towards Chapel. Looks pretty even to me, but Casper's gained a bit more straight line speed because Casper does have DRS. I'm seeing penalties. Morgan has just got one, and so has Clark and Craggy, I believe. No, Craggy didn't get one. Don't panic, Craggy fans. He's not got one. Curry, though, has just picked himself another warning.
Yeah, they are getting close. Yeah, then penalties start popping now. About guys in 2 seconds as Garnard's in the pit, so Kevin does now retake the race lead. Garnard done 10 laps on the hards, going hard, so he's going double hard, and probably setting means at the end, going up in that strategy. See how that does work out for him. Obviously, he's on fresh tires now, so he'll be able to catch up to guys he's racing. But just say at the moment, Callum, his pace, he's sort of looking in control in second place. Casper's, if anything, he's drawing back a bit. If anything, Callum's very close to breaking DRS to Casper, so Callum is looking really good. And Nikita will want to get his move done because he doesn't want to see Callum break DRS because he's already probably lost the possibility to win now. He don't lose the possibility of second place here. So Nikita will just get desperate to get his move done. As I believe now Casper will be starting to feel the tyre deg around lap 5 and lap 6 on tyre. That's when the mediums do start deg a bit. So yeah, Nikita has to get his move done ASAP.
Yeah, Lakita has got to get the job done because otherwise, what's the point of having that time advantage if you're not going to use it? And Mert is going to be chasing up before you know it because Mert has got a tyre advantage. Marco as well. This is good for Williams, by the way, for the constructors. Same with McLaren as they try to close in as well on plenty of drivers. But with this DRS train, no one can make their way past. It's getting very frustrating for all of them. And again, it's too early for them to pick. Kevin leads by 3.4 seconds, and all this squabbling is helping Kevin at the moment. Meanwhile, in the background, we got a nice little battle forming for P12, the final points paying position. Of course, the top 12 get points in one hub racing. We got Jacob versus Epic the Animal fighting for 12th place. We've got Arnold and Curry fighting for 16th place. Colin is running his own race. I don't think he'd be too happy at all with how he's performing, but again, he's got a lot of work to do as Arnold is still not prepared his front wing, so he's probably happy that he can run this race like he is, but he probably doesn't know that the damage exists. Meanwhile, we can see Mert battling with Lakito in towards Brooklands and Luffield, but he's understandably did not want to get into the dirty air, so he has to stay behind by now. But look at that DRS train you can see in the helicopter shot, James. It's quite a lot of cars.
Yeah, it's very, very congested, and around here, the dirty air in this part of that's very difficult. It's very hard to follow the car, as I believe Kevin is. Kevin's just enjoying this, seeing these guys buying squabblers. Mert is looking really aggressive. You know how aggressive Mert can be. So for him to back out and move, he must know it's definitely not on. But yeah, I believe be looking to get a move on pretty quickly, as these guys are just. It's just a fight for second place with Kevin just way up the road. Yeah, so we'll see. When will Casper pit though? I say lap 14's the earliest, but if he does pit lap 14, then he's going to leave himself very vulnerable at the end. I think Casper, as long as he's in DRS, I believe he'll stay out. But once he probably loses too many places, he will consider pitting.
Yeah, I think in about a lap's time, people will think about pitting. Not yet. I think it's too early, but there will be some people that are trying to maybe go on to the hards. Callum might go on to the hards at the end of this lap and try and stretch it out. But the trial offset at the end, we don't know. But this could change as we got a yellow flag. That's Roby has had a moment in towards the Hamilton straight. And I'm just seeing if he's picked up damage. Yep. It doesn't look like it. He's fine. He just had a bit of a spin. But that means he's now in last position. He got very lucky that he didn't get damage.
Oh, no, he's got his end plate. Oh, is his end plate damaged?
No, but yes, on my data, he's not got damage.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, we got Marco and Alex.
Left,
Sorry to interrupt you. Alex
damaged.
and Marco as battling into Woodcote, and Alex has just got ahead there, I believe, or was he ahead already? But anyway, that was good side-by-side battling into Woodcote there. Apologies if we missed that. There was so much battling happening at the moment. I wonder if Casper's tyres are starting to die a little bit, because the gap now between Casper and Callum unarmed is about 0.6 of a second. The Keeto's closing in. He's got a brilliant exit through Chapel now. He's going to burn his battery. Burn, baby, burn, as Disco Inferno would like to say, but Casper's saving in the background, as you can see, whereas Lakitu was just burning a bit, but he's going to try and save a bit more. You can tell Lakitu is quicker on this lap. Set 2, he was struggling a little bit, but sectors 1 and 3, he was just so much quicker than Casper Klein on this lap, as Craggy understandably comes in. This is crucial for him to climb up positions in this race, and it will be the hard compounded tyres for him.
Set hard,
any other
surely,
tyre
to the end.
Yeah, it is hard compounded tyres for Craggy, so here he goes, and that will take him to the end of the race. And Casper, I won't be surprised if he comes in as well, say with Morgan and Axel. Morgan having another decent race so far. He got P8 last week. Yes, he got a penalty this week, but still, he's looking on to get another point finish. Will be very impressive. Meanwhile, Axel and Morgan going side by side. Axel just about having the edge there and up to 8th.
Yeah, good race there between Mox and Morgan. Morgan actually couldn't get a step in the race there. I've been over a point for myself. Obviously, that will change in the final stint. I do apologise, but I've got some graphical glitches on my side. So if I do see cars with damage or cars going off, then I do have 1 or 2 graphical glitches. So, more stuff coming out there did, and it's good to see a champion really mixing it with these experienced P1 drivers, and he's going to learn a lot. Morgan says this is a track he doesn't particularly like, so for him to be mixing up on a track he doesn't like, it just bodes well for the future as he doesn't develop, as he will learn with every race in this tier.
Yeah, and that is why you should really try your best to go into a higher tier as you possibly can, because you'll learn a lot. As Casper comes into the pit lane, understandably, onto a set of the hard tyres. We'll see where, I'm just trying to remember where Callum is. No, Callum is still in second. I'm trying to remember who was the one who pitted recently. It was Craggy, that was it. Craggy's down in 17th. Yes, it's not going to make too much difference, but...
Craggy,
who cares at the moment? Sorry about a delay, by the way. My internet, I think since my P3 race, has been playing up like crazy, so that's probably why we've got a delay between each other in the commentary box, but hopefully it will get fixed for next time out, which will be in 2 weeks' time, because of course we've got Mother's Day next week, as quite a lot of us, including myself, will be out with our wonderful families, as Lakitu had a bit of a slide coming out of the loop there, and he's going to lose quite a bit of time to Craggy, so Craggy's gained a bit of time on this train now, and Casper's now ahead of Lakitu, which is very impressive. 1.2 seconds, so the undercut is powerful on here. If I was at Slot and Morgan, I would get a bit worried, because I'm wondering, why haven't you pitted yet? Maybe you should think about boxing. Those softs are starting to die now. And of course, the top 5, they haven't pitted yet, because they're going to have to stretch it to a lap 19-20 for a set of the medium tyres.
Yeah, the mediums, certainly. Yeah, the mediums are going off, yeah, for sure. They will be pitting soon, obviously, but then you've got likes of, obviously, Karagi. He's going to have to do 30 laps on the hards. It is possible, but he's going to struggle at the end there. These guys do come in the pits, cut each other off, and yeah, they were very late in the pit lane, but everyone's behaved themselves in the pit entry this week, which is great to see. No 10-second penalties, which we do not like to see.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised that we got no one.
Need to go set hard, surely.
Yeah, I think everyone that's pitting now is going on for a set of hards, and yeah, Axelot and Morgan going for a set of the hard compounded tyres now, so we'll see where they end up. Probably a little bit further behind, because of course there's people that pitted. So Casper, the leading person who has done their 2 stops already. Of course, we have a mandatory 2-stop at One Hub Racing. We've got 11 laps to go of this race. If you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up, as Colin is also doing his final stop. I won't be surprised if he pits again to try and go for the fastest lap, but I think there'll be quite a lot of people that will be doing that, so watch your space on that one. Hopefully Kevin remembers this week to do the 2-stop. I think he will be, so he'll be pitting in a lap. He's stretching the gap by a second a lap, it seems, for the last few laps. He is getting quicker, but Callum is starting to gain a bit of time now. That's him pitting early. That's got to be another set of the hard tyres. If it's not that, how on earth is he going to get to the end? Understandably, you took a bit cautiously going into the pit lane, but you would rather do that than speed. So that's what he's done. So let's watch Kevin as he comes into the pit lane. And, yeah, hard tyres. Smart.
Yeah, it'd be 10 laps and another 10 laps on them. So he knows he's 10 laps on them. So he knows if tyre wear will be a bit better in the race, less fuel. So yeah, you get then no bother there. Set of hards now. I believe for mediums, you won't want to come into maybe lap 19. But Alex is on mediums. He's going to do 10 laps. As Curry is our first person to get a 10-second time penalty. Alex is on the mediums. 10. Yep. He did. Sorry, Curry, but yeah, he was having a solid race, but yeah, that's going to cost him any chance of points. I believe natural points anyway. He can still get the fast lap, of course, but yeah, Alex on the mediums now. Can he make these last? Alex, 10 laps to go. Curry's also mediums, but yeah. So the two Haas boys are thinking, I can get these mediums last 10 laps. So good luck to them if they can, but it's going to be a struggle, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because I think Alex is not having the best of races, so he would want to play a strategy gamble. But what happens if he gets a puncher? I'm almost certain he's going to get a puncher. I think the most I was able to get it in a one-stop race, which I think was 9-10 laps, probably about 8 laps at a push. So I think it's going to be hard for Alex because everyone else is going to be in a better tyre offset than them, more grip, more chances to make overtakes. I think Alex is definitely going to struggle. Same with Curry as well. But I'm liking the gamble that they're doing.
And Marco,
we'll see what happens. Yeah, Callum's in.
Yeah, Callum, Marco, both.
Oh,
Marco gets 10 seconds. I was on board with him and he was locked up. And I'm thinking this is going to be tight, and it proves to be the case. And that's cost any chance of the podium gone. And that is going to make his gap to. That's going to make his gap to Kevin in the championship even further. He'd be desperate for a safety car now, so he can maybe wipe that 10-second penalty away. But I don't see a safety car happening, to be honest with you.
No.
I don't see it happening. So
this could be the first
Callum
time.
and Kevin are both on mediums. Callum's on mediums, try and chase down Kevin, but he's going to be a long way back because Morgan says fast lap yet again. So Morgan is showing great pace. No fast lap there for him, and he's wanting to get that fast lap inside top 10. But yeah, Callum is on mediums, but he's a long way behind the leader.
I think he was 2.6 seconds behind Craggy. Craggy was in 7th place. Yeah. That undercut has worked well for Craggy. Watch out for him coming towards the end of this race because he's in that leading. Well, that apart from Kevin, he's in that battle for the podium. He can still get a podium in this race if he goes for the move on Lakito. So Lakito is going to hope he can stay within Casper's DRS so Craggy does not have a chance. I think they're running similar wing levels, which is probably why they're finding it hard to try and get past. And with people having a lot of experience in this game in the P1 tier, they know when to turn through certain corners to reduce the dirty air that they can, because you may have to turn in a bit differently than previously. As we are about to start lap 19, I'm still surprised that Mert hasn't come in yet, so maybe he hasn't got a set of the hards to go into to make sure he gets to the end.
Is he going softs?
He must be, but again, that won't get to the end, and the gap's coming down. And no. I remember you told me it was about 24 seconds pit lane loss as Marco.
Past Axelock for 9th place there. Axelock obviously undercutting Marco there. Marco fighting back, but that 10-second penalty is a killer. Alex sets the fast lap of the race. Very close to Callum now, so Alex getting those tyres now to temperature. He's going to send him inside it. He's going to take the Callum. He thinks about it. They're going to go side by side. Alex, a bit of contact there. He's through, but I don't think Callum will be too impressed by that. And Alex does let Callum back through. But I think Alex will have the DRS down the pit straight. Now that is interesting to see. No, who is DRS? He's not using. Yeah, he's using DRS, but he's not going to overtake. I don't think. No, he backs out of it there.
I think he's playing it smart here, Alex, because he knows if he gets past Callum and a DRS in this corner, then Callum's going to get DRS in towards Stowe, which is probably an even more powerful DRS zone compared to this corner. So that's what Alex is going to try and do now. And he might let Callum pass in towards Wellington straight later.
Callum's
so
a
he's
good
playing
run.
It tactically.
Yeah, but Callum had a fantastic run through Copster. It's going to be very difficult for Alex to overtake. Yeah, Callum. Yeah, it's the problem is Callum hit a bit of the curb there at the corner there, but he's a long way ahead. And Alex on the game, but nowhere near close enough. As Mert does pit now, 12 laps on them hard tyres. What's going to go for? We'll wait and see. As Alex is gaining, but he's too far back as Lakito and Casper are fighting over 3rd place, which should he come second once Mert done his pit stop. Yeah, he's gone soft. Mert has gone soft. So that's interesting to see
That's
how
risky.
that's going to be 7 laps on a set of softs at the end. It didn't work in the P2 tier. Can it work in the P1 tier?
I think, yeah, because yes, the one in the P2 got a podium, but they could have been on for good results. Yellow flag. That's Callum.
I'm
That's
not sure
Callum that's lost it.
Oh wow, he's dropped to 8th place there. He was looking good for a podium maybe, but now he's dropped all the way down 8th place. He's going to really take Axlock here. But yeah, that as Callum has probably lost any chance of the podium tonight.
That's
Can he gain
gutting.
back though?
That's absolutely
He's looking
gutting
so
for
good as well,
Callum. He
having a
needed
strong
redemption.
race.
Yeah, he needed redemption tonight, and unfortunately, he's not going to get it, which is a bit of a shame. But unless we get a safety car, chance of a podium is done and gone. He's got no penalties either. He is closing in on Marco, so it's still not over yet. But let's watch the battle with Casper and Lakitu. Yep, he's got a lovely run into Chapel. We'll let you take this one.
Yeah, he's going to go for the inside into Stowe corner. Good Casper needs to fight back. No, he can't. Can he switch back here? No, he can't. Lakitu's got that covered, and Lakitu's up to 2nd place. Yet again, Lakitu may have the same 1-2 as had last week with Kevin and Lakitu 1 and 2, and Craggy is looking good to maybe get a podium in his comeback, because he is right in the back of Casper. And Casper had a great race, I've said. If Casper does get a podium, he will fully deserve it.
Yeah, I think based on his performance, he's probably one of my between Casper and Craggy for driver of the day for me in terms of my nomination, because of the fact both of them have been able to make their strategies work. Craggy with the early undercut, Casper starting on the softs and him not struggling and doing the early undercut earlier on, and with I think he was on the mediums for his first stop, and that worked out well for him too. So as long as he can keep Craggy at bay, then he could be on for his best result of the season, which is probably not what he was expecting. Pretty much Kevin has got the race win in the bag. It's home and host for him. It's about all the battle for 2nd now, and Casper really wants it to be him. Craggy wants it to be him on his return as well, and I don't think any driver on the mediums is going to do so at the moment. We'll see how Mert does in P9, but he's dropped a few places, quite a lot of places, so yeah, he's not going to get that. But I'm seeing Craggy has got a brilliant run through Chapel. Casper, I think, must be struggling at that, it seems. Craggy's saving battery. He thinks he can't get past Casper. Interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. I believe Casper is struggling in the dirty air of Lakitu. He's not been dirty air much in this stint, and yeah, he's just realising that in Chapel Corner it's so difficult to get the throttle down in dirty air, but he'll learn on the next lap, and he'll learn how to prove it. As Alex is sort of gaining on these guys in means, but I don't think by the time he gets there, I think his tyres will be gone. I think his tyres going to drop off now. So I don't think Alex is really in this fight for the podium. But if they do if they do keep fight too much though, then you can lose time, and that may allow Alex back in. But I just think it's a little bit too far back.
Yeah, and he's almost in the 40s in terms of tyre wear at the moment, Jamie. So his tyres are going to drop off quite quickly. But of course, we do not know what everyone else's tyres at the moment. Yeah, we got 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go. So, by the way, Casper last lap had was struggling quite a bit in sector 2, but his other sectors he's absolutely nailed. So Casper's got to improve on sector 2 if he wants to have a chance of keeping, well, pretty much getting P2, as I think that's what Lakitu is stronger at the moment. And you can see Casper's done slightly better in that lap going through sector 2, so I think he's going to burn a bit battery now. I don't think it's going to be enough, but he's a lot closer this lap than last lap, to be fair, so his sector 2 is going to be a lot better. That would have probably dragged Craggy with him though. This is a very good battle between 3 very experienced drivers on the F1 game.
Yeah, they are very experienced, obviously multiple champions, race winners, all sorts across the loads of leagues. Great to see these guys fighting so hard. And yeah, I believe Casper, he needs to be within 4 tenths coming out of Chapel to have a go. He's 6 tenths back then. By the time he approached Stowe Corner, it was 2 tenths. So yeah, it needs to get that a little bit closer. But I think Casper maybe with a slightly less wing if Lakitu is quicker in sector 2. That probably shows that to me that maybe Lakitu's with a little bit more downforce. That's probably why Casper is gaining in sector 1 and sector 3.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I could tell that Casper is running a little bit lower downforce than everybody else. Craggy, I just seem to be more comfortable into Maggots and Beckett's because that's where he can carry a bit more speed. But it's not over until it's over. And I think we are getting to a point of this race, guys, that we're not going to get any safety cars. So for the first week ever in One Hub Races Season 28, we are having races with no safety cars, which shows the standard tonight across all 4 tiers have been incredible. Yes, we've had people that have had bad luck, but we've had people that have had their best results. We've had people that have had maiden wins. We're going to have a multiple race winner of Kevin now. Jacob had a multiple race win in the P2 tier as well. So very, very exciting stuff at the moment as we are about to start now. Lap 24 of 26. Can Casper do all he needs to close in on Lakita? Lakita's found a lot of time in that lap. He was pushing a little bit of the battery. He's burning a bit of the battery now. And I wonder if Casper's saving a bit there. We will find out. But this is a showdown between 3 veterans on who I think is going to get the podium. Callum, by the way, is fighting with Marco for P6. But Marco's got that time penalty. Callum doesn't. Atslot doesn't. Watch out for Atslot because he's got the more durable tyre at this stage. Colin.
Yes, Colin gets penalty, obviously going for a fast lap, but it doesn't really matter for him because he's not going to lose a point. But yeah, I think maybe he showed his frustration there back with the pits a little bit too fast. But yeah, Marco's got that 10-second penalty. At the moment, Marco's going to drop all the way down to 10th place. So yeah,
it's worth racing well One Hub, I think.
Yeah, he's normally averages around the podium to 4th place, 5th place, normally constant top 5 runner, but yeah, not the racer tonight. He just hasn't had the pace. He hasn't had the pace, and that speed penalty is going to really just crucify his race to be an absolute disaster. He's got Matt Clark and Morgan fighting over 10th place here. The Clark's very close to the
and J. Cole closing in as well.
Close. Yeah, J. Cole can go for the points. J. Cole, he's going to leapfrog these 2 guys in penalties. So J. Cole just to stay within these guys, and he will get a top 10 finish, which would be great to see for J. Cole. Obviously, another past champion who's struggled, but keeping at it, and he's going to be rewarded tonight. It's Matt Clark. He's going to go for around the outside of Morgan. Thinks about it, but no, Morgan does close the door there, and yeah, these guys are going to fight to the end because we're about to start the final. We're on the penultimate lap, 1 lap to go, and Kevin's got a 6-second lead over the K2, who he's sort of keeping Casper in company, and I believe Casper just has to stay within the DRS of Craggy, and he should keep the podium because Craggy's going to find it hard to overtake a car with DRS, so that's going to be difficult there for Craggy. So fourth's a good result to come back though. I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, because he started quite lower down anyway. He struggled in qualifying, so I think for Craggy he will take that. You can see Casper has a bit more of a tyre offset now than Craggy, and Craggy seems to be struggling a little bit more, and Alex is closing a bit even with the higher wings. And yeah, I think Craggy, unfortunately,
Clark and Morgan banging wheels. Sorry, Clark and Clark spun round there. The bang wheels there, and Clark has lost out there for sure. I only saw the end of it. I didn't see the build up to there. But yeah,
no,
Clark's dropped down at 12th, and he may shoot a point now because that animal is within penalty range. So Clark, and that may have cost Clark a possible points finish tonight. He's got to keep on the pace. St. Dale's J. Cole will help him get a bit of a space, but yeah, that's going to make his job get the point even harder than what it should have been.
That is absolutely gutting for Clark for spinning like that, but it's allowed J. Cole to definitely get into a top 10 finish now. Can he get 9th? We will find out as we're on the final lap of this Silverstone motor race. We had 3 tiers before this one, but this tier is definitely delivered as Casper is closer to Lakita than he has on any lap. I know what he has been doing. He's probably been saving battery for this moment. Let's ignore Kevin for the time being. The most important battle we're seeing is for the final 2 spots on the podium. Unless Kevin makes a mistake, we know what the first one's going to be, but who's going to be second and who's going to be third. Casper's got to make this move count at some point, because otherwise Craggy will pressure him. Casper couldn't do it quite so yet. Atslot trying to make a move. There we go. Atslot trying to make a move on Callum on arms, and I think he just about gets it. Yes, he does, as Callum trying to tuck in onto the outside once more, getting very close onto the gearbox. But let's watch Casper again. Brilliant run through Cop's corner. We will jump back to Kevin in just a moment as soon as Kevin crosses the line. But again, it's more important thing, as at the moment Colin will get the fastest lap point outside the top 10 unless Curry could do any better. And through they go through Chapel in towards the hangar straight. I don't think Casper's got enough battery to get past the key to. Nope, he does not. So unless he could go for a run in towards the final few corners, he's not going to do it, unfortunately. But Kevin has pulled off a very good race from lights to flag. He wins in Silverstone, and it is the key to who's going to get second, and Casper's going to get third, and Craggy struggled a little bit at the end there, but he gets fourth. Alex gets fifth. Marco gets a 10-second penalty. He drops down into ninth, but that promotes Atsock into sixth. He will be happy with that. Callum, what could have been in seventh, Saver in eighth. J. Cole moves up to ninth place, which is very impressive from him. And Morgan again picks up some more points in the P1 tier. He's learning and growing every week. And for anyone that thinks, oh, I don't want to be in a higher tier, it's too hard. Well, look at Morgan. He's proven that you could be in a higher tier and still have some great races and get some points. So, well done, Morgan.
Yep, good for him. I believe Colin does have the fast lap outside the top 10 by a couple of hundredths from Curry. I don't think Curry's going to improve. So on Robites, I think it's on a slap as well. So I think Colin will get that fast lap outside top 10. Yeah, but good to see Morgan top 10. Nice drive for J. Cole 9th as well. Good to see him. I think that's his first point season in the world. And keeping it clean, no penalties. It shows you keeping it clean, no penalties. You can leapfrog a few places there, as J. Cole did. But Kevin, once again, a pretty commanding win. Lakita in second. And Lakita's getting himself back into play for that top 3 in the championship with Marco having and Alex having difficult races like Lakita, who will be leapfrogging. Yeah, Lakita is going to work out well for him there tonight. But Kevin, his lead is going to be commanding, I believe, once the results do get published.
I think the rankings are going to be good as well for Kevin. He's going to be right near the top. So the Swedish driver is on top. Once again, he lifts the trophy high. Of course, Mercedes in real life did well in Australia, and Mercedes do well here in this lovely track of Silverstone in 100 Racing P1 tier. We'll go through your results then. Here we go then. As Kevin gets a race win. Fastest lap belongs to Colin outside the top 10. I can't remember who got it inside of the top 10. Most overtakes Arnold. And I didn't see. There we go. Let me hide that. Why has it not let me hide that? And cleanest driver goes to J. Cole. But we'll go through your results then. We got... why is it not letting me hide all the stuff? There we go. So we got Kevin from Lakitu, Casper, Craggy, and something is just hidden, so I can't see the rest of the results. There we go. Alex, Atsalot, Callum, Mert, J. Cole, Morgan, Marco, Clark gets your final point. Arnold, Epic the Animal, Dave do not score. Colin gets the fastest lap point. And then Curry and Robite finish there. So we've got 18 drivers and 18 people have finished the race. No retirements. The only tier to have no retirement, which is very, very impressive. And we're going to have to pick our sim racing setup driver of the day. And I'm going to be greedy and go first, because I'm worried you're going to nick mine. So I'm going to go with Casper, who started... I can't remember where he started, but he pulled off a really great strategy. Started on the soft where hardly anyone did. He was the only driver on the soft to make it work, and he got his first podium of the season. So my question for Casper is, congratulations on your first podium. Was it always your plan to start on the soft tyres, or did you ever think about starting on the medium tyres? Because your pace on the soft was incredible, and well done for him. So that was my question for Casper. Jamie, over to you. Who would you like to pick, and what is your question?
Yeah. Good question, good nomination. Good question, good nomination. I'm going to say P40 also didn't have any as well, so I'll give a shout out to my tier as well. And yeah, I did see in there that there were 8 different constructors in the top 9, so great to see some great variety across the teams. For my nomination, I'm going to go a bit different. I'm going to go for a guy who's had a difficult season, but got a top 10 finish today, had a really good race, kept it clean, no penalties, was within 20 seconds of the race winner, just about. I'm going with J. Cole, obviously a previous champion. I'm going to say, well done, mate. Good drive, top 10, no penalties, keeping it clean. How happy are you to get a good point to finish at last?
Yeah, I think so. Only be 20 seconds off the lead in the P1 tier is no mean feat. I think same with Morgan as well. Is amazing. So massive shout out to those two guys because they honestly, obviously Jaco has been struggling, but glad he's found his feet again. He's probably going to be relieved that he's been given a drive of the day nomination. But that's it then for the races at this point of the season. Like I was saying earlier, we have no race next week. The drivers will be on a break week as the UK people celebrate Mother's Day. For certain drivers like Kevin, Casper, Lakitu, even Craggy, they'll be happy with that result and they probably would want to race next week if it comes to it. But other drivers definitely struggled and definitely wants that break week to reset, think about what they need to improve and see what they can do. Luckily, no disconnect in P1 though. That's impressive. But next time out, Jamie, we go to Hungary, and I remember Hungary has had some wet weather, and we've got to have some wet weather because otherwise it's gonna rain in some ridiculous places. So we got to have some wet weather in Hungary, even though I hate it.
Yeah, and Hungary obviously a totally different track. It's literally the complete opposite to Silverstone in terms of nature of track. Obviously, it's a very high downforce, slow speed corners, long race. Even in the dry, it's a long race. So yeah, and obviously we do see a lot of rain there. Yeah, it's going to come some point, I believe. But we may be getting, we may get rain at Las Vegas, which would not be fun.
God,
so maybe
no.
It needs to come soon, don't fancy doing rain at Las Vegas and that. I think it feels like a wet track in the dry, so God knows what it feels like in the wet. But anyway, that's still a long way to go. Hungary after the break week, and yeah, a chance for drivers to assess. Obviously, we've had 1/4 of 1/3 of the season gone. There's 2/3 to go, so still plenty of points to play for drivers. If had a per race tonight, let's not forget that there's always chances in the next couple of races coming up. And yeah, I can't wait for the break week. I'm going to take a week off this game and just chillax.
Oh, I wish I can.
Sometime next week, I'll probably come back and focus on Hungary.
I wish I can. I've still got 2 league races on Wednesday and Thursday. But then after that, I'll be taking a break from F1 for like a week. So once that's over, I'm definitely taking a break because I kind of need it because I've been on F1 quite a bit recently. But thank you all for listening. A final quick word of our sponsors we went through at the start of the stream, so I can say that I'll talk about Delta in more detail and then say thanks to all the other sponsors just very briefly. So Delta.app, you can use all your investments in one app, and if you do !Delta like I've put in the chat, you can make smarter decisions like the world's top investors and track your journey to success with Delta. The link is in the command, or you can click the link in the description. Thank you to our other sponsors, Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear, Vespertine, and Sim Racing Setups, and of course our final partners and SingGrid and our charity Mental Health Foundation. Thank you so much for watching. You take care, everybody, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll still yet to decide if we're doing a Stewards Room stream. Probably not. We'll probably wait until after the break week, I think. But watch this space on Twitter, all of that. But for myself, Jesport, and from Jamie, you take care, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And enjoy your week off, guys.